Hello, guys. How are you today? Well, welcome back to the trading cage. And here is where we beat the gold. Well, once again, we're here. Today is the 8th of January 2026. Oh, almost said 2025. Living on last year, eh? Holy crap. So, Um, what we are going to do today is another live analysis of the gold. So what is the gold doing today? Okay. During these live, I'll actually have to pop out for about 5 minutes to do the market analysis for our students. Okay. They also start on our other group. We have a different arena that they'll be trading as well while we are here doing the live. So I'm gonna have to pop out there and just do a quick analysis for them, so they can know exactly what to do during the first hour of the day, which is from 9 to 10. It's also the time that I'll be here with you guys, so I've got to make sure that they are well looked after. Okay, so just 1 second. Let me get these all sorted out. Took us a little bit of time to get this computer going today for some reason, but everything will be fine. So, guys, today, let's see what this gold is intending for us. We are here on the daily chart, okay? And we can see straight away that on the daily chart, we are getting into a region where we just hit that 50% mark. So we've got a high, a low of the movement, and now candle 5 is just coming back to that 50% region. Okay. Yesterday we did say that market could come back and try to grab that liquidity that it had under candle number 3, which it did. Then it retracted, opened up in the region of the 50% of candle 4, and then just kept on coming down through the night. Let me just clear these. I'll clear on a lower time frame. That'll be much easier. So what do we know for sure? We know for sure that we still on a uptrend. Okay. So we still have this trend line right there. Come on, buddy. There we go. So we still have this trend line going all the way up there on our daily chart. We do have these inefficiencies here. Okay, so it's quite a big inefficiency. I'll move this down here just so we know where it is. There's a lot of contracts in this region. There's a fair value gap there, but we don't really work with fair value gaps. I like to work with inefficiencies. It's a lot better. Look at that. If prices reaches this region, most likely it will try to accelerate. One thing I will do is we've got here resistance at that point. We also have resistance here. We do have that trigger candle that I explained to you guys yesterday about. So we can actually move that all the way up here. This is a good resistance point. So we've got our short, our trend line, sorry. We've got our trend line coming up. So this is the place where the price could come, grab that liquidity, find support to try to pop back up. All right. So if price touches here, we can most likely see a retracement of price going forward, at least until the region of the minimal of candle 3. which is right there. That's the region. All right. So this is pretty much what we have for the daily chart analysis for the moment. Tomorrow is payroll, okay, so it's payroll in the US, and being payroll in the US, market might be a little sideways today, okay, so it might not be, it might not give us a lot of movements, not big movements, because normally before payroll, market will try to accumulate, so it can take all of that. It can take all of that liquidity tomorrow. Now, one thing we know for sure is that we have a lot of liquidity in this region right here on our daily chart. So we have a lot of liquidity there all the way up here. Okay, so there's a lot, there's a very big gap in there, which has a lot of liquidity for the price to grab tomorrow if that's the way it wants to play out. I'm trying to access one thing here. Let's see. Let's see if I can get these going. All right. So let's go down to our hour chart, our 1 hour chart. And on our 1 hour chart, what we can see is we've got that very big liquidity there. We've got liquidity on this bottom here. One thing that price hasn't been able to do so far is price hasn't been able to beat that trigger candle 15. Okay, so we need to see that price hitting that region. Okay, we need to see it breaking through that trigger candle to show us that it might want to go lower. One thing you might do, okay, here on the 1 hour chart, is come down here, grab that liquidity under the candle 15 and then pop back up. That might happen just because price needs liquidity to go up. But at this stage, we are on that 50% region, okay? So I don't want to be selling here, okay? I don't want to be going short here in this region until he actually breaks through and do a retest. So for me to sell right now, what I would need to see, it's pretty much this. I would need to see price coming down here, breaking through that, and breaking through all these trigger candles here, and that top there, okay? So I need to see that being broken through, and then a retest of the new resistance that will have created, okay, because that support, it will have to become a resistance, and then coming through there. So once it confirms the pullback, then we can get into a selling point until basically, I would say, 4372. Okay, so that's our resistance there on the daily chart. And also we have got our uptrend line here, which is another support for the price. But if price beats through this top here, most likely will come down here and try to clean out all this liquidity that's left in here. Okay, so that's quite a lot in there, which is really good. Let me delete these just to clear the chart a little bit.
Então, o que a gente vai fazer a partir de agora? Vamos focar no que realmente interessa. Vocês, trader, análise técnica. O que a gente vai ter de dado econômico? No Brasil,
I don't know how many of you guys actually enjoy MT5.
Fraco, tá?
I have learned to work with it. I was more used to using TradingView, and as I said, the Black Arrow
significa que a gente pode sim cortar
platform,
Selic
which is
já no
a
início do
really
ano.
good platform
Tanto
to
que
trade with as well.
esse é o nosso tema da aula de
All
sábado.
right, but for
E
this
às
instance,
10h30,
we are
sim,
going
vai
to
ser os
work with
pedidos
MT5.
iniciais de
It does pretty
seguro-desemprego.
much the
Guilherme,
same thing as
este
everybody else,
fato,
but
essa notícia, aquela que movimenta
it takes a little bit
absurdamente o
of getting
mercado?
used to it.
Não. Ele é um dado que sai toda
If we go
quinta-feira
down
e
to
somado
our
ao
15-minute
longo do mês
chart,
gera ali
what are
números
15
importantes
minutes
para o
showing
relatório do
us
payroll, tá?
is
Então é um dado que sim pode trazer um pouquinho
we
mais de
had that
volatilidade no
region
mercado, mas não é
in
aquele
here
absurdo todo. É o único
of
fato relevante
interest
para
of the
esta
price, okay?
quinta-feira.
That
De
was
forma
broken
geral,
through
todas as bolsas
yesterday.
estão levemente negativas.
Also tonight,
Europa e
so during
Estados
the
Unidos,
night,
na
price
casa de
broke through,
0,20,
came here
0,30%
into our
para
regional
baixo, que pode
support,
facilmente ser
which is now
revertido.
that trigger candle on the
Minério de
daily
ferro,
chart.
depois daquela porrada, teve uma
Then
correção nessa madrugada, mas
found
também foi
a
pífia, tá?
resistance there,
Corrigiu ali
broke through, found
0,40%
support,
nessa madrugada o
broke
minério de
through
ferro
again.
lá na Ásia.
So
E
right now we
petróleo,
know
que
that
todo
this
mundo
is a
achava
really
que ia
good resistance
derreter
for the price.
depois da
This is
prisão do
our
Maduro,
50%
segue em
region,
alta. Hoje
which
está subindo
also has got a
exatamente
good support to the
1,40%
left
na
there.
casa dos
Let's see if we can
$61 o
find
Brent.
some more
Como os
support
alunos já
in
sabem,
that region.
59,
We
60
also
dólares
have
é suporte
support
para o petróleo.
around here
A
on
gente
these
monta
ends.
posições
So
em
let's
empresas
see
do
if
setor.
price is going to
Tem uma
manage
que é
to
a minha
break through.
queridinha, não sou tão
If
fã
it
da Petrobras por
breaks
ser
through that
estatal.
50%,
Eu tenho outra
as
queridinha
I
também para
said,
operar opção e tem
we
dado bom
just
pra
need
caramba.
to
Então,
wait
gente,
for the
para essa
price to correct
quinta-feira
itself.
é o que temos.
We need
Daqui
it to
para
come
frente é
and test that
100%
50%
análise
region
técnica.
or
E aí
confirm
depois
that's
aqui
going to
vou
keep on going
deixar
down,
o
all right?
link para o
We
aulão
have
de
got
sábado,
those trigger
mostrando para
candles here on the
vocês
left-hand
como dá
side.
sim
We have
para
got that
fazer muito
inefficiency.
dinheiro investindo,
So
mais do
once
que
it breaks
a renda
through
fixa,
the
com
next candle,
tranquilidade,
if it tests that
mas
region
com
and
segurança
continues on
e
its
sem
way
doideira
down,
de achar que o
that would
patrimônio vai
give
dobrar
us
todo
a
ano, tá? Isso aí não
good
existe.
trade, okay?
Mas
That
dá
would
sim
give
para
us
fazer
a
muito
good
dinheiro daqui para frente.
short
A gente está
trade in
vivendo
there,
uma janela de oportunidade da
going short.
década, tanto na bolsa quanto em alguns outros ativos.
All
E quem
right,
chegar mais
all
cedo vai
right, all
beber
right, all
água limpa.
right.
Então,
So
depois aqui eu coloco o grupo
let's
do
go down to our
WhatsApp para a aula de sábado,
5-minute
porque a aula vai
chart.
ser fechada. Não
On
vai
our
ser disponibilizada
5-minute
no Circle
chart,
e nenhuma outra
we see
plataforma,
that price
somente no grupo fechado
has
lá,
broken
beleza?
through the
Então, a partir de agora,
50% there on the
bora
1 minute
para
at
o
least.
gráfico.
So candle 795
Não sei se o
broke
Isaac com a
through
Cíntia
that
já estão por aí.
50% region, but price is finding quite
E o teu BTC tá
a big
vendo?
hit in there
Tá
from
faltando você
buyers,
aqui,
okay?
só que dia que você vai chegar?
So
Amanhã,
same way
glória
they
a
came
Deus,
down,
rapaz. Ontem, gente, eu fui
it's
no
just trying to
profetiza aqui da minha
reject that
igreja.
region at the
O
moment.
Felipe
Let's see
Valadão
if it
liberou uma palavra
rejects.
profética e já
If it
sei. Eu
rejects, it
não volto
might
mais pro
give
sul.
us
Meu
a
lugar é mais
three
aqui.
candle
Meu
pattern.
lugar é em
So three
Fortaleza.
candle pattern would be really great
Ah, rapaz.
Amanhã
in
tô
that
aí.
region there because
Show de
that's
bola,
what we
irmão.
studied
Aguardando
on.
você aqui.
So
É
we
isso aí,
don't
meu povo. Olha o que
have,
o Bitcoin fez essa noite,
oh
hein?
no, we don't
Olha aí.
have
Continua no
a
pullbackzinho. A gente,
three candle
infelizmente, aqui na
pattern
parte da
right
manhã,
now
tá pegando a maioria das
because
vezes só
candle
distribuição.
159 broke through
Movimento à
the
noite.
minimal of candle
De manhã cedo faz a
158.
distribuição. À
Okay,
tarde, né?
so we
Movimenta a
do
parte da
not
tarde.
have
De
a
tarde
three candle pattern
faz a
here,
distribuição. Mas
but we
nós
might
estamos aí nessa
have a
tentativa.
rejection
No movimento macro aqui, galera.
pattern for us to trade with.
Quer ver? Deixa eu só...
So let's see what
Mexer aqui
that
um pouquinho aqui
5-minute chart's gonna
no
show us.
movimento macro, vamos lá. Deixa eu dar uma olhada aqui na semana, ver o que ele está fazendo na semana. Olha só, galera, na semana ele está dando acúmulo, já chegou no fundo, olha só. Está acumulando, né, durante aí essa semana, buscando as regiões de fundo novamente, já está no fundo, na verdade, né?
I'm just
Tem um fundo
connecting
para a
here
esquerda,
to
no
my
diário,
other
vamos ver o que
students,
ele
okay?
está
So it won't
fazendo.
be a second, sorry
Tentando
about that,
quebrar uma
while
estrutura,
we wait
né,
for
uma
that
linha de
5-minute chart to
tendência
move.
de
If
alta
this was
curta,
a
que foi
classroom,
que a gente analisou no
we're
dia de ontem.
studying a graphic or a chart
Para
that
buscar esse
stopped,
ponto aqui, ó,
it's a
esse
little
corte
bit
muito relevante para a
quicker.
esquerda.
But
Vamos
right now,
observar, tá?
when we're studying
Ainda tem
live charts,
muito
we actually
movimento pela
need to
frente
wait
ainda
for
para
the
chegar
time
nesse
for the
fundo,
candle to do the
rompendo aqui,
movement
perdendo
that
essa
it
região
needs
no
to
tempo
do.
gráfico
So
menor. Obviamente,
this
nós
is
vamos
why it
pegar
takes a
esse
little bit
movimento de
of
baixa
time
aí, tá?
and
Que é uma quebra
patience.
de estrutura
And one
importante
thing
para o
that
preço
I
também
always
acelerar.
love to say to all my students
Ainda
is
na
the
segunda, ainda nesse
patience
mês de janeiro, ainda
pays
está
the
muita
trader,
liquidez,
okay?
acumulando
So
muito
we are
antes de
paid
movimentar.
by
Percebemos
our
na renda
patience.
que
There's
está
no
fazendo bons
need
movimentos só
to
depois
be
do
jumping
candle
into
35, né, que é o candle de abertura do mercado
into
americano,
trades
né, aqui já no
just
gráfico de uma
because
hora.
you're afraid that the
Temos
price
essa
might go
percepção
and you're gonna stay
bem mais
behind.
apurada do
All right,
movimento de baixo,
so don't
quebrando
do
a
that.
estrutura, então pode sim vir trabalhar nessas regiões.
Okay,
Vou até
so
mexer
this is
mais essa marcação já ficou um pouco distante, né? Para essa região de liquidez, então, se você observar, tem muito movimento ainda para descer.
cool. So I'll put them on my ears here. Didn't quite work yet. So there we go. Candle 160 did a rejection of that 50%. We do have a position to go long, but candle 161 needs to test that 50% region again before we can actually go long on a trade here, okay? If candle 161 doesn't test, we're not going to do anything. So let's wait for that test. Candle 800 needs to come at least to that trigger candle 796. If it doesn't test, we don't do anything. Okay, not without tests. The other thing we have here is the other thing we have here, let's say we've got, let's find out where the 50% of this movement is. Come on, candle 161 didn't test enough to let us know that we could get into that trade. It still might be able to test again, or we might even get a good position here on the 15-minute chart, but we got to wait for that. So right now, the correction area that these price could come to correct itself, there we go, candle 161 is trying to test now, is this 50% here of the movement, or even a bit lower here, as we got that trigger candle right there. So that's 50% of the movement. That would be our first target, okay? So it would be that 50%. But price didn't test enough in here for me after candle 159 broke through candle 158. So I had to wait a little bit more for that. Mm. All right. Cool. So there you go, candle 161. It's getting quite close to the region that we have as a target for it. We also had to be quite careful in here because we do have this resistance under candle 81, 83, 85, 86. So this is a good resistance point for the price as well. If we were to get into that trade, if it had tested, we would be aiming to get out of this trade somewhere around that target there, okay? So it would be pretty much here, somewhere around the 50% of that movement. Look at that, how everything aligns itself. And that price will go there. And that nice. Let's see. Let's see if it would have paid in case it would have tested a little bit more. Candle 801, you can see here that it came down a bit to test the top of 798. But I wanted that candle to test at least around these region before it went back up. Why? Because we're still on a downtrend. Okay, so this market's on a downtrend, and for a rejection, it's quite good to see it testing really well before we get into a trade, just because it might just manipulate us, bring it above the 50% line. So we think, oh, so it's going to retract itself and it's going to reject that 50% or jump all the way up here. But then it doesn't really do that. So we got to be very careful with these trades. as we want them to pay us, not to get our stop loss, okay? So there are a couple details we need to have a look at to make sure that we're safe. I'm still waiting here for to be called out on our room that we have on our classroom with our students. But they haven't called me yet, so we are free at the moment. Just my headphones not working. Yes, I can't really. Oh, there we go. So candle 162 went there, just paid our target. Missed that one. Could have got into that trade when they did the test, but that was really quick. So he did a very quick testing there. That was awesome. Se o preço buscar a máxima do candle 4 aqui primeiro, a máxima do dia anterior, sem buscar essa região aqui, ele tem ainda a probabilidade de buscar esse 50% do dia, sabendo que a tendência macro ainda é de baixa, tá bom? Então, para a gente poder montar uma boa posição de compra, eu esperaria ele primeiro buscar os 50% do dia anterior, para a gente poder montar essa posição de compra aqui para poder buscar alvos para cima. Tá bom? Look at that price though. That's a good rejection of that 50%. Obviamente, tá? Agora. Come on. Yeah, these headphones are not working at all. I'm gonna have to get some big boys in here. Sorry about that, guys. So candle 162 just broke through that 50% of that movement. Let's have a look here on where it reached. Let's see if it reached that other 50%, which is right there. And it just got into that 50% region now. Cool. So it got into the second target. All right, so it touched that 50% region there. Let's see if it's going to be able to break through that trigger candle 117. If it breaks through, price will probably be on its way up to that top part there. But we do have another trigger candle there on the daily chart on the region of 4428. So that would be a good breaking point for the price at this stage, okay? So you see if I can hear anybody. Having some really big issues here with my headphones today, which is not nice. You guys can hear me all right, but I can't hear other people. Quite difficult. Okay, so we just got into that 50% region. Price did not break through. On the 15-minute chart, price did come back up. So at this moment, we need to see a test. Okay, we need to test down at least these last tops here. So it should be this region of support around there somewhere, minimum of candle 27 to show us that it will continue on its way up. Okay, so it should do a test at least around that region there before it keeps on going up. Let's see if we will do it or if we just have so many buy orders that the price might decide just to keep on breaking through this 50% line and also the resistance created up there. While we wait for that, now I need to go to that room. I'll be there for about 5 minutes, okay? So you'll be able to see me, but you won't be able to hear what I'm saying because over there we put some, we make calls and everything else, and I can't do that in here with you guys. So just be a little patient with me today, okay? While I do that, and I'll be back with you guys very soon.
Tá devendo aqui em cima essa busca de liquidez, que tá lotado de liquidez aqui, ó. E ele também tá devendo essa região de mínima e essa região de mínima também aqui, ó. Essa e essa. Então, ele pode estar só indo chamar comprador para estopar essa região para poder
Fechou no
Hello
desenhador.
guys, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Pegou, hein?
Just
Oremos.
a lot going
Tem
through.
parcial na máxima do 110,
But
parcial
I'm
na
back.
máxima do
So
6.
we can
E
see
o alvo
here,
final dessa
since we're
operação
not
tá por
doing
aqui
any
nessa
entries here
região
on
aqui da
YouTube,
distribuição de ontem, tá bom?
it doesn't really affect you guys that much. I hope. Maybe one day we'll be able to do
Isso
live
aí pra quem
trades
quiser.
here on YouTube with you guys. So there we go. Price here just breaking through the trigger candle on our daily chart. Okay, so number 3, if it breaks
Por que
through
descolar do
here,
ajuste?
next stopping
Porque
point
o seu
would be
ajuste é
our
um ponto de
trigger
parada
candles.
relevante. A gente tem que
141,
fazer,
128,
usar
after
ele
that
como
candle
uma resistência para
99
não pegar
and
a
our
nossa ordem.
50% region,
Agora que ele
okay,
passou por cima do ajuste, a gente tem um ajuste como suporte
which is
para não
also, sorry, which is also our region where we could be looking for shorting regions, okay? I've just got a text from a student saying that you guys might be getting a little bit of noise on the live. Let me just check that. 2 seconds. So if I speak right now, you can hear me properly? Tá? Okay. Não, beleza, obrigado. Just one of my students just saying that the audio on YouTube, it's a bit robotic on the live, so I don't really know exactly why is that. But I'll have to find out and fix it for tomorrow, so you guys don't get these sort of distractions, okay? So I do apologize. I'll have a look at the recording. I'm recording this. If on the recording is better, I'll just put the recording on YouTube. Okay. So at the moment, the gold is doing exactly what we thought it would once it hits. It hit the targets it would have. Move these over here. Let's see if that price will come to this 50% region, if it's going to reject that, or if it will want to keep on moving forward with that price. So what we had here before, let's have a look. It broke the 50% region right there, tested down, which that was awesome, an awesome test here from candle 165. That would have given us a good entry point right there. Okay, with target on the trigger candles here, as I said, 141, which is awesome. Well, here on 15-minute chart, you'll see that price just hit the trigger candles here. Okay, so 41 and 48 and 33, which are the stopping points for the price as it comes up. Here right now is not a good time to be going long, okay, because if we go long here, we are right there. The price is too expensive anyways. You could do a small scalp, but price is really, really expensive at that region. So not a really good trade at this stage, but most likely, as price is testing down, if it comes down here around the 50% region of these, if it comes around here somewhere, test this trigger candle here, the graphic left, which is candle 54, and comes back up, most likely, okay, this price will come to grab all that liquidity that it has on here on these high parts of these candles, all right, on the high regions. So there's a lot of stops in there for the price to go grab, a lot of liquidity. So we're still waiting for it to see what it's going to do. At this stage, it did pretty much what we told the price to do and did everything so far that we were waiting for. My phone's going crazy today. It doesn't stop. All right, so thank you, Elton. That was good. At least you can hear me fine now. I don't know what happened before, but we'll work on these things to make sure that you don't get any interactions from anything else that we do here live. So candle 56 on the 15 minutes is testing down, so that's a good test. One thing that would be very, very good if the price did was actually come around this 50% region here or this regional support and made a pullback. Because then once it confirms pullback, we could buy, we could go long there, and then hopefully that price would break through these last high until this region of this 50% region here. We could do a small trading there. That would be very awesome with a very short stop loss under that structure, but it doesn't seem like it wants to do that. It just seems like it wants to keep on going. All right. But again, we are in the region of trigger candles. Didn't want to have such a small retracement. It would be good if it made a bigger one. A larger retracement would actually help us quite a bit. Price is too expensive. We don't want to do a scalp in there. A scalp there would pay us probably about 400 points. Okay. But then our stop loss would be, let me have a look. What we would have, if we were to put a stop loss in here, we would have to put a stop loss under that last minimal there. We are talking about 900 points of stop to a trade of about 400 points. So it's not a very good trade at the moment. Oh, there we go, 500 points. If we had got into the trade here on number 162, it would be a lot better trade. Even though the stop was quite high, we would have a stop of 800 points, but then we were aiming to get about 1200 points into the trigger, plus another 500 points into the top part of the movement. So that would have been a better trade for us. So let's see what price going to do. Once again, 15 minutes. Still trying to break through those trigger candles. Okay, so there is a resistance in that region for the price. If it breaks through, there's a lot of stops up there, so price might accelerate through there and turn this trend into a uptrend. Okay, it will break the structure that it has at the moment, which is a low trend structure. If it starts making higher lows and then breaks these lower highs, then we'll change the structure and we might see today these gold coming all the way up to the highs of today. And that Fibo is in the wrong place. The Fibo should be up here. Okay, so it's making a pullback. Candle 167. It's making that pullback right now. I would love to see candle 56 here on 15 minutes to come in and test this 50% region and make a pullback to go back up. That would generate more liquidity on this top part. We could get into a trade there. That would be really awesome to trade. But without that pullback, nothing to do. Again, talking about that, we do have a support region here, which may not allow that price to go too low. All right. So we have support here, here, here. Price might just continue from here if it can't get back down. So that would still be a very healthy movement for the gold in this region, even though it's too expensive for us at the moment, unless we would trade on the 1 minute chart, which is a bit short. You would be able to hide your stop loss under candle 826 in there with a little bit of space for the price to move. But it's really rejecting that region, that support. All we've got to do for now, we've got to wait. Okay, remember that the patience pays the trader. We've got another 8 minutes on our live. Let's see what price does. The funny thing that after I broke through the trigger candle on our daily chart, it got back into that trigger candle, and now it's using it as support. And the funny price got back up in there. It's inside of the trigger candle number 3, and now it's just using that region as support. Just creating that support region right there. At the moment, buyers haven't showed a lot of strength to continue this movement. It's being hit by the sailors quite hard in here, as you can see. He's trying to triangulate. So we have this movement where here. So we have it trying to triangulate right now. And it's got to choose a way to go. Let's see who's going to win that fight. We want to avoid getting to trades in regions like this, okay? There are better regions to trade on. When we get into areas where you've got very strong resistance and very strong support, it makes it really, really difficult to trade, because then you're getting into a fight that you're not strong enough to win. So when we are not big players and we're not big institutions, we can't really drive the price up. So what we got to do is wait for them to make a movement, and then once they move, we move together with them. We're not trying to anticipate their movement. And this is the good thing about not working with indicators. With indicators, you're always waiting for the movement to happen, and then the indicators will show you, okay, so now we're moving up. With the way that we work on live market readings, candle per candle, you can actually anticipate quite a bit, as we did down here. Okay, we anticipated that that price would go up into that target, and then candle 162 did exactly what we wanted it to do, what we wanted candle 801 to do. So 805 came down here, tested that support, and came back up. But I was trying to organize my headphones. We missed that entry point in there. But it's all good. Most important thing is know that the reading is right, okay, if we got our knowledge and our readings right, we will always have good movements. And we'll be getting ready anyways for the opening of the US market soon. So what we know so far is that price rejected that region. We're still on a downtrend at the moment. If price comes back up from that 50%, from the highest point today to the lowest point, okay, if it breaks through that, we'll most likely see this price going back up to the region of, maybe look, what is the number? The region of 4447. Okay, so price should be coming back up here. But we need to see that break of structure first, and then we need to see price breaking through this 50%, testing it back, and then to continue its way up. 15-minute candle is coming into our support again. So just touched there again. It's not managing to break through. Price is still triangulating a little bit. Hasn't broken anything down yet. Hasn't grabbed any liquidity. But it's not making any new highs, okay? So it's not renovating the highs of the candles before. It would be so awesome if it did a pullback down here. If it did a pullback and confirmed it, that would be the best. That would be a good trade in there. One minute showing us that not enough force to continue the movement or to bring it down. So it's just accumulating there, creating more liquidity on the top part and on the lower part of candles 165, 66, 67, and 68 at this stage. So 15-minute candles about to close now. We've got like a minute and 20 seconds to go. Let's see what it does. I'll hold on another 5 minutes just to see if this price will come down before I close the live with you guys. Just to let you guys know while we wait for that, we have 30 seconds to go. We do offer mentorships, okay? And I teach all my students on how to read the market and the charts. Exactly what I have been doing today, okay? So we can go straight. If you never heard anything about trading, if you don't know anything about it, we can start from zero. If you are somebody that already has got quite a bit of experience with it and would love to know how this reading candle per candle works, we can also work with you as well on teaching you how to look after the stopping points, reading candle per candle. Also, teaching you how to work with the trades that we get on the three candle pattern. So just get in touch with us just send us a message on the description or something and we will sort it out for you. There we go. We had a bit of volatility there. Okay, Candle 169 did a test in there, but it's not managing to break through anything. There we go. 840 went through that trigger candle number. 823 didn't break through. Looks like this price might be coming on its way down. Yes, Elton, mentorship is a very good way to accelerate results. Thank you for that, bud. So, Kendo 840 got that little bit of liquidity that created here through this triangulation, but then it's just showing us that price needs to come back down a little bit to grab the liquidity on the bottom. At the moment, we've just got dojis being formed in there, so that means that there is a doubt on the price. There's a big fight in there between buyers and sellers. We are in a point where we have resistance and support in the same region. We don't want to be getting into a trade in these regions, okay? So things are not funny when they get into something like that, because it might change way too quickly and it leaves you hanging. Okay, so I've got to finish the live now. We're just over 10 o'clock. This is the second live we made. I hope that you guys are enjoying this content, okay? What I'll leave to you guys here is good trading points is if price comes back down, okay, break through these 50% region here, you might get good sales until these trigger candle here, 160, or the 50% region down the bottom there. You do have this region of 50%. There you see that that's the same place where these trigger candle formed. We've got support and resistance here in this region. So if price comes back from here down here, test this region also, that would be a good selling trade. Okay, so it would be a good short trade with a target here on the trigger candle or on your 50% right there. Now, if you are able to hold that trade down, if this movement proves to us that it will continue to go down, there is a whole bunch of liquidity here that this price might come to collect, okay? Our next support is in the region of 4372.93, and we've got our trend line here going on that same region. So this is a really good region here as a target for a good short trade. Of course, you would have to do a partial trade here. So if you got, let's say, I'll be teaching you guys how to do that later on, but if you got into a short trade here, and let's say you're operating with two contracts, you might be able to get 1.5 of your lot out. So you're trading two lots, you take 1.5 out, leave that 0.5 lot in there, just in case price breaks through. If it breaks through and test that region again, showing you that it has resistance in that region, you can then maybe put a little bit more of those lots back in the trade and just wait for it to get down there. Okay, so there are a couple ways of protecting yourself so you don't end up losing all the money that you made on the trade in case it does go in the different direction. Okay, guys, thank you very much for today. Thanks for joining us. Elton, thank you once again. It's been nice to have you here. All I can say is I will see you guys tomorrow at 9 o'clock from 9 to 10 Brazilian time. Okay. Once again, thank you very much. Welcome to the trading cage. And this is where we beat the gold. See ya.